First off, the hair is not greasy. I just got out of the shower. Next off, you look beautiful today. How are you doing? Hope it's well. We have a very exciting video. If you missed my I'm back video, you can go ahead and watch that. I'll leave it linked down below so that way you can know where I've been these last 3 months. But alas, we are back, and today we are reading Reddit. We are reading Am I the Asshole? And we are going to be the final judges of if these people are the asshole. Remember to let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Let's get started. Our first one is, would I be the asshole if I told my boyfriend I won't cover his portion of the bills while he recovers from surgery? That's a little tricky. We're not going to judge right off the bat. We're going to read it. Let's see. Hey Reddit, I, 41 female, have been dating Chris, 41 male, for a year and a half. About 4 months ago, we decided that he should officially move and help with rent. What? About 4 months ago, we decided that he should officially move and help with rent because he stayed at my place for a year, not going home, and it seemed like making it official was the next step. We live in an extremely HCOL? I have no idea what that means. Area. My rent is $3,300 a month. That's a very good deal in the area. I've worked my butt off to be able to make it here to the detriment of my own savings. Meanwhile, Chris grew up in the area, so he has always lived at home, not paying rent, so he has substantial savings of over $100,000. Having this help with rent is allowing me to build a small savings. We split everything 50-50, bills, common purchase trips, and etc. It's not like he's been spending money on me or supporting me outside of his half of the rent. When Chris was 18, he got into a dirt bike accident that messed up his ankle. He finally decided to have it looked at, and it will require surgery and a 6-month recovery that he will not be able to work during because his job is physical. This man is 41 and he got injured at 18. That's what, like 30 years later that he's finally having this looked at? I feel like that's the most male response ever, to just put something off forever. Chris has all the toys and freely spends his money on his hobbies. 10K mountain bike he constantly spends money on, brand new F250 he bought outright. Last week he dropped $2,500 on fixing something on his dirt bike that he rides max 3 times a year. I've never been able to purchase any toy for myself. For perspective, last month I bought myself my first pair of new shoes in over 3 years. I don't judge his money or spending as long as he covers his bills. He is a grown man and it's his money. We aren't married or even engaged. Yesterday, he informed me that when he gets surgery, he expects me to cover all the rent and utilities and bills again since he will be out of work. I explained I wasn't comfortable with this as it would be a detriment to me and the recovery time is quite extensive. He pointed out that with my new raise, I should be able to cover everything easily. I pointed out I'm trying to build my savings. This is tricky, a little tricky. If we were married or even engaged, I'd be open to this idea, as we'd be mixing finances and making financial decisions together. But just dating and him only just officially moving in, I'm not comfortable with this. And pointed out he has more than enough savings, and FMLA/disability should allow him to contribute to the house expenses. He once again said that since we are now living together and I got the raise, that he shouldn't have to dip into his savings. He also said that he wasn't ready to get engaged. And I'm not ready either, especially after this discussion and his spending. This entire situation has really given me the ick, and is making me second guess our relationship and future, as to me it seems like we aren't aligned financially. And to be honest, I can't wrap my head around a perspective of someone living rent-free while the other partner struggles, and they have access to a substantial liquid savings. Not only would I be covering all the rent, but everything else, groceries, utilities, etc. So would I be the asshole if I stood firm on this and told him he must contribute while out of work recovering? No, you would not be the asshole. Oh my god. Can you imagine if she goes forward with marrying this man, or if they get engaged? This is what your entire life is going to look like. A man who loves you would not want you to break your back to pay for all of his expenses, right? It's a relationship. It's not 50-50. Even if they were just roommates and your roommate gets injured, you would expect them to still, pay their share, or at least what they can. It sounds like he's also going to be getting some sort of disability payment. I really think that him just not willing to pay for anything at all and wanting it all to be on her is kind of insane, especially when he's still out here buying himself really expensive shit all the time, it seems like. It's just not a very healthy dynamic. It feels very toxic, and I feel like it's something that is only going to get worse once you're married to him, because I don't think your finances are going to end up mixing as much as you think they will. I understand that it's a tricky situation since you guys just moved in together, but you gotta stand firm on this, because if not, it's only going to get worse down the line. Let's see what Reddit had to say. You're not obligated to financially support a grown man with $100K in savings and expensive hobbies just because he's having surgery. If the roles were reversed, would he dip into his own savings to support you? Based on his responses, probably not. You're not being cold-hearted, you're being realistic. If he's unwilling to contribute at all during recovering, that's a red flag about how he views partnership. Pretty much what we said. I agree. You're not the asshole. We're gonna move on to our next one. This one looks a little spicy. It is, am I the asshole for stealing my mom's earrings after she threw away my sex toys? I'm scared. I'm nervous. You're scared. I'm nervous. We're gonna get into it. My mom lives nearby, and her husband was away traveling for work, so she wanted to stay overnight at my place for some company. Okay, so we're talking about an adult here. I don't see any ages, but it looks like the daughter is very clearly over 18 and living on her own. When I got home, I noticed she'd cleaned my room and moved some stuff around. Later that night, while she was sleeping, I went to grab my dildo from my drawer. It wasn't there. Neither was my vibrator. I checked everywhere, but I could not find them. I asked her if she'd moved anything from my drawer. She told me she threw my toys away because she didn't want me using them with, quote, if you had a boyfriend and wanted to get married, you wouldn't need that stuff. I was so upset. She refused to pay me back for that stuff. Before she left, I took a pair of her earrings from her purse. I called her that night and told her that she'll get her earrings back when she reimburses me for what she threw out, and that I'll throw the earrings out if she doesn't pay me the money back. She was angry and said I was being petty and childish. She didn't pay me that day or the next day. My sister told me to just let it go because, quote, that's just how mom is. But I'm tired of hearing that excuse. A couple days later, mom sent me the money, no apology, just the payment, and a text saying, quote, now give me my earrings back. I dropped the earrings off at her house. I don't think I went too far. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. Can you imagine if your parent goes into your house, you're living alone, you're giving them a place to stay for whatever reason for a couple days. You're at work, you come home, you find out that they went through your room, they went through your drawers, all of your intimate stuff, and they didn't just go through it, which is an invasion of privacy enough as it is, but they took it upon themselves to throw it away, because, if you were married, you wouldn't need that stuff. She's not married, and so many married couples do still use that stuff, Such a huge overstepping of boundaries. I can't even imagine. If that happened to me, I don't know if I could look at my mother in the face again. That's really, really just shows a lack of respect between their dynamic. Not the asshole. I think that, holding her property against her was maybe going a bit too far. I know you wanted your money back, and good for you. I just feel like there's probably other better ways to handle it that maybe don't involve you having to go and see your mother so soon to give her the earrings back. I feel like maybe just, a conversation of, hey, you really overstepped my boundaries. I was really disrespectful. Don't do that again. Might have gone farther, but not the asshole. Let's see what Reddit had to say. Really, your mom's behavior was completely unacceptable, and honestly, stealing the earrings was a perfectly reasonable response, because I bet you were fuming, weren't you? I mean, who throws away someone else's stuff like that? Not the asshole. And it's just, wow. I'm really questioning her judgment, and I'm probably thinking it myself. Do you think she's ever going to realize how wrong she was? Someone else said, no, not the asshole. She had no business going through your drawers, for one, let alone throwing away your items. Not the asshole, and don't ever let her stay with you again. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, once you disrespect that boundary, once you cross that line, you're not staying with me again. Next one. Am I the asshole for not wanting to call my stepmom my bonus mom and saying nothing will make me start to like it? My parents are divorced, and I'm 16 male, their only kid. Right now I live more with my mom than with my dad. It wasn't always like that, and I used to live with them both an equal amount of time. My dad and stepmom started dating when I was 1, and they got married when I was 4. When I was younger, they used to ask me if I'd like to call her my mom or mama or ma, and I'd say no. My dad would tell me my stepmom would like a special name, like he and mom had mom and dad, and that she was my second mom. So I should consider doing that for her. You can tell a child wrote this. I'm having so much problems reading it. I never called her one of those. I use her name. She was always Lucy when I talked to her. Do I say she's my stepmom? Yeah, but I never said I have two moms. When they gave up on the mom/ma/mama stuff, they started trying out different stuff, and she really liked bonus mom. I hate it. Not in a I hate it for others to use, but for me and her, yeah, I hate it. She's my stepmom. Bonus mom to me sounds like a second mom in like an equal way, but she's not. Even though she's been around practically my whole life, I still don't like to think she's the same as my mom and dad. There's been lots of talks about using bonus mom and how much she likes it, but I never took it up and tell others I don't like it for me and her. Because I'm older now and spend less time there, they make it a bigger deal. And they asked me the other day to please use bonus instead of step. I told them I wasn't going to, and I hated it. They wanted to know what could be done to change my opinion of it, and I said nothing will make me start to like it. Dad said it fits because I have two moms and not one, that my stepmom has been around since I was 1. I told him I don't see it that way, and I only have one mom really. He said that's not true or fair to her and to consider how much she'll hurt because I refuse to use it. I don't think she deserves... No, that's not right. Fuck, dude. Okay, one more time. He said that's not true or fair to her and to consider how much she'll hurt because I refuse to use it because I don't think she deserves it. He said that's exactly what I'm saying. Am I the asshole? This one's a little tricky. You're definitely not the asshole. You're really, really young, and, you know, at the end of the day, if you want to call your stepmom, that's what she is to you, that's what she is legally. Like, that's fine. It doesn't seem like you're doing it out of a place of disrespect. You're just calling it what it is. You're doing what you're comfortable with, and I think your dad and your stepmom pushing you to give her some sort of cute nickname is a great way to just push you away at the end of the day. You know, yeah, you're really young, and yeah, she's been in your life for, you know, pretty much as long as you can remember. It's just what you're comfortable with, you know? If you just view her as a stepmom, that is perfectly fine. Them pushing you to keep trying to come up with a name, especially in such an unnatural way, like bonus mom, that's not okay. And I think, you know, once you turn 18, once you can really make your own decisions, I think they're going to see a lot of the repercussions of that and of crossing your boundaries constantly. Let's see what Reddit had to say about this one. Raise your hand if you're sick of hearing about shitty parents that try to shove their new relationships down their bio kids' throats. Not the asshole. Your dad needs to stop pushing this dumb bonus mom crap. They asked, you said no, end of story. Pretty much, there's not a whole lot more to say. Someone else said, not the asshole. It's been 15 years and you still don't have that bond with her. It's not likely to happen now. It could be worse. You could be calling her dad's wife. Keep calling her what you're comfortable with. You might have to warn your dad that if he pushes you to call her bonus mom, the more he's pushing you away. You're happy with the relationship you have with her, but if they try to force a change on it, it's likely to make it turn negative. Very true. Alright, we're gonna do one more and then we're gonna wrap up this video. Last one. Are you guys ready? This one looks very juicy. Am I the asshole for telling her she needs to pay the full price of the ticket, or I'm not coming? I, 45 female, might be the asshole here. You know it's going to be good when they're saying that right out of the gate. I need to check in with the Reddit jury before I officially up the ante with my mom, 74. Full disclaimer, first world, middle class problems incurring. Here's the setup. My mom lives a plane ride away. Tickets are $300 to $400 these days. And I have 3 kids and a full-time job. Despite that, I visited her every single year for the past 7 years. Even though I don't love her location. She's visited me twice. She's always welcome, but she doesn't come. My mentality is live your life while you can. I believe in enjoying life now while still saving and budgeting responsibly. That's a good way to look at it. That's pretty much my mindset as well. My mom is the exact opposite. Hardcore Midwest German heritage. Her mom was the same. These are women who pinch pennies so hard their fingers probably have permanent dents. They take one trip a year, hoard collectibles in the basement, and treat money like it's sacred until the day they die. Also important, when I visit her, she won't let me borrow her car. She's afraid I'll crash it. I'm 45. She goes nowhere all week while I'm there, but I still have to rent my own car, about $300 for the week. Altogether, the trip cost me $700 through $1,000, not including my cheese and sausage budget, if you know you know. My kids are getting closer to college, and I'm trying to put more away. Thinking about having to pull money out of college fund to visit her has me stressed. So I told my mom, if you want me to visit this year, could you please cover my flight? It can be my birthday gift. Her response, I'll give you $100 towards it. So essentially, happy birthday, here's $100, but only if you spend $200 to $300 of your own money to get it. I said no. A week later, she came back and said she'd give me $200. Now, I'm pretty sure my mom has money. Her house was paid off over a decade ago, and she bought it in the late 70s for like $30,000 or something ridiculous. Imagine. She lives on Social Security and refuses to touch her retirement accounts unless the government forces her to withdraw. Recently, she complained that she had to take out $8,000 this year because of required minimum distributions. That's the level of hoarding we're talking about. I'm pretty sure she has hundreds of thousands across her 401k, CDs, mutual funds, IRAs. But she believes she needs to save money for her children's inheritance. I've told her multiple times, spend your money, take us on a trip, enjoy your life. She refuses. Anyway, back to this. Flights are still $300 to $400, and no, I'm not taking a grueling 8-hour, 2-layover route just to save a few bucks. I want to fly a reasonable airline under 6 hours max. So here's my current dilemma. Would I be the asshole if I come back and say, full plane ticket, or I'm not coming? Bonus points if she lets me borrow the car, because frankly, I'd rather use my credit points hiking in Sedona than renting a car in Midwest capital USA. And again, it's not just about whether I can afford it. I make low six figures, I'm a single parent to 3 teenagers. A $1,000 trip won't break me, but at this point it's the principle. I'm just really tired of paying to visit someone who won't meet me halfway. For those curious about the mother-daughter dynamic, it's like When Life Gives You Tangerines, Korean series. I'm basically the youngest daughter, and she's that mom. Alright, we have an update. Answering a few questions. I really don't care about the inheritance. I'm not planning on it, and I don't expect a dime. Especially since my older brother is the executor, because he's the oldest, again, Midwest German. I don't want to make any waves, and he can have it all if it gets to that point. Many of you hit the nail on the head. When I visit her, it's not quality time. She watches TV all day and asks if I want something to eat every 30 minutes. That's why I suggested a trip, because I'd rather make more meaningful memories. She does travel. She visited Europe for 2 weeks last year and is planning another trip, which I love that she does that for herself and wish she did it more. And she visits my brother almost yearly, sometimes even buys his plane tickets just to visit her. I'm not jealous, just pointing it out for context. My kids aren't biologically mine. Their mom left my ex, and their dad is mostly absent due to depression. They live with me full time. I handle 95% of their expenses and parenting. My mom supports me in this and sends my kids' birthday and Xmas presents. That one's actually really, really tricky. I can only imagine. You know, you said it doesn't really bother you. I feel like it almost has to, that your mom's willing to spend money and go and visit your brother every single year while she's only visited you twice in the past 7 and yet expects you to visit her every year. I feel like that's not really fair, you know. It's the, you do something for me, I do something for you. You gotta meet in the middle. I feel like her just not even willingness to visit you or front you a little bit of money to come and visit her, it's definitely tricky, because at the end of the day, your mom doesn't have to come visit if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to give you money for a plane ticket if she doesn't want to. Obviously, it's her money, her choice. I don't know if I would feel comfortable visiting somebody who never wants to put in the same effort to visit me, especially when I do visit. We don't do anything. It's just watching TV all day and eating every, couple hours. At this point where it seems like your relationship is at, you should just have a really honest and open conversation with your mom. Tell her where you're at. Tell her, you could afford the trip if you want to. It's just really all about principle at this point. And just explain to her where you're at. I don't think you're necessarily the asshole. I don't think your mom's the asshole either. I just think it's like a really, really shitty situation, and just being open and honest is probably the best way to go about it. Being open and honest is normally the best way to go about it. And with that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you watched the whole thing, thank you so much. I love you. Check out Rose and Nectar. It is my small business. We're over on Etsy. We do curated bundles specifically for you. We have some really cool themes. And yeah, I love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye!